Hey everyone, we're joined by Northwestern head coach Chris Collins. Start with an opening statement and then take questions. Coach?
Yeah, man, I mean, just what a day, what a game. The atmosphere in there was as good as anything I've ever been in, which is pretty awesome. The crowd was amazing. Purdue is an incredible team. I mean, I've said I've been in the league now 10 years. I'm not really sure that I've had to prepare against someone as dominant as Audige. I mean, he's such a good player. He's so big. He's so strong. And Matt does a great job, just the way they run stuff for him. And all we asked our guys to do was just fight. It was going to be tough. He was going to have some baskets. We wanted to fight. Certainly, too, we needed a little bit of help with missed shots. We knew if we were going to surround him like that, we were going to have to get some misses. And, I don't think they had a three in the second half. Gillis had those three early. But to be down by 8, at the under 4 timeout, just kind of shows the fight and resiliency in our guys. I really thought in that stretch, guys, when it was 53-47 or whenever it was, like we had about 5 or 6 really good looks. We ran exactly what we wanted. We were getting good shots for our best players, and it was kind of in and out, in and out, in and out. And then finally out of that, we ran a nice sideline out of bounds play for Ty, out of the timeout. We felt like, everything was going to be on Chase and Boo. We ran a little play for Ty. He got a great look. And I think Boo got the long rebound and kicked it out to Chase there. And Chase hit that big 3. And then we got a steal in our press, which led to the dunk, those 5 quick points. And, from there, I think they told me, I think we outscored them 17-3, in the last 4 minutes of the game. So, I know there's always been a lot talked about how we can't close and this and that and all those things. Well, this is a different year. It's a different team and a great testament to our guys. I mean, I thought our guards just played really well. They, with the way they play defense, we knew we were going to have to put our guards in situations in the middle of the floor where they could try to create. And, I know I'm biased, but I'd be hard-pressed to see a better backcourt. Out there, not only the way these guys play, but the way they lead, how hard they play, how tough they've been, everything they've been through. It's our players deserve it. I mean, I don't know. I know it's pretty historical. I know there's probably not been a lot of wins over number 1 here. Judging every time we win a game, they tell me it's like 40 or 50 years since the last time that's happened. But it's pretty cool, and it's one of the reasons why I wanted to come here. Was you have the opportunity to create historical things. Like how often in your life do you have an opportunity to create history? We've done that in the past, and to kind of have to rebuild it after the tournament team and know that we had to start over, and just stay the course with that, not listen, but know, like, we're going to get some young guys, we're going to play them, we're going to get better each year, and hopefully we'll get back to that level. And I think we're kind of seeing that happen right now. I want these guys to enjoy it. It's all about the players. They were great. And we got to come back tomorrow. There's still a lot to play for. I mean, this was not a championship game. It was a great, great win. And really happy for everyone around the program. I mean, for many of you that have been to games in this place and have been a part of this to walk in here today had to be pretty eye-opening. Because I just said on the radio, like, I've been really lucky in my career because of what I've been associated with. I've had a chance to play in pretty much every great, iconic venue, play or coach. In all of college basketball, and nothing was any better than what you saw today in Welsh Ryan, which is pretty special. So thank you to the students in the crowd for supporting us. So open for questions, guys.
Yeah, Coach, in addition to his 26 points, Boo had 3 steals, 3 blocks, and then down the stretch you guys were forcing turnover after turnover, trying to get you that lead. How important was it for Boo's presence on the defense?
Well, I mean, our defense had to keep us in the game because I felt like I told you, like, in the second half, we had that little stretch where, like, we really were getting some good looks. We found an action that kind of was working for us, and we were going to that with our 2 guys, and they were getting open threes. They were getting downhill. They were able to get their mid range, and it was kind of like, man, if we can just get one to go. And we called it. We had that timeout there under 4. We were down 8, like I said, and we finally saw that one go in from the corner, Chase, and then he hit that little 8-point run. 2 threes and a layup. But the thing that won us the game was during that time they weren't scoring. So we had that stretch where we couldn't score, but neither were they. So it kept us at arm's length, and to beat that team, you got to play really well. I mean, they're a really good team. Obviously, everyone knows how good Matt is and what a great coach he is, and they can win a national championship for sure. So hopefully that'll give our guys confidence to know that you can compete with a team that's as good as anybody in the country.
Matt was in here before and said the difference he sees in Chase this year is a more consistent effort on both sides of the floor. So he's playing really hard on defense now, harder than he was the last couple of years. Do you see that too, and how big has that been in this resurgence by your team?
Yeah, I mean, Chase has been phenomenal this year. Chase didn't play very well last year, but people didn't understand that he wasn't anywhere near healthy last year. I mean, he was dealing with a hip injury that really not a lot of people would play with. He didn't practice much. He's a really tough guy, and he wanted to be out there with his guys. He never made excuses, and he didn't have a very good year. I mean, admittedly so. He didn't shoot the ball as well. He didn't play to his kind of own standard of what he wanted to do, but he's such a hard worker. We took the time to get him healthy in the off season, and I think he's really settled in. Like, I love his competitive spirit. And you have to be really careful when someone has a fire in them the way Chase does. You can't extinguish that fire. But what we've done a lot with him is just how do we channel that in the right direction, with playmaking, with shot selection. And, I think the thing he's finally realized, he's always been very disruptive defensively. When he doesn't gamble and just stays to the principles, he ends up getting steals, getting rebounds. And I think that's what he's really done. He's really been more disciplined on that end of the floor, so he's not been in foul trouble. Early in his career, he's in foul trouble. He's going for a lot of steals and overplaying things because it comes from a good place. And his shot selection this year and his playmaking, like he and Boo have a special chemistry. And there's just great role allocation on this team. Everybody knows our guards kind of going to have the ball. They're going to make the plays. And everybody has really embraced how can they star in their role around those guys. And, our two guards have just been fantastic all year long.
Yeah, and you talked about how this is a different team and some of the questions about closing games and stuff have not been reality this year. But I'm curious if there was a game earlier this year or two games where you really felt the belief kick in that, yes, you guys could close some of these difficult games, whether road games against top teams like Purdue.
Yeah, I think we came up a little short. Even though we lost, I thought Auburn gave our guys a lot of confidence. It was just like a total rock fight, tough-minded, 43-42, whatever it was, and we lose by a point. But we came out of there with belief like, hey, we're pretty good, And then I thought the win at Michigan State, if I had to point back at it, we had come home and just got drilled by a really good Pittsburgh team in the ACC Challenge. And a lot of people were like, uh-oh, here we go. Here's the same old Northwestern. And then we went to Michigan State that weekend and won in the Breslin Center in a close game. We had to make shots, we had to make free throws, we had to take care of the ball against the press. So if I had to look back, maybe that game in particular, was one that really stands out. But, when you play these really good teams, you're going to win your fair share. We had a really tough loss to Rutgers in here where they made a couple more plays than we did, hit a big three to beat us. But then, we've had two close wins over Wisconsin. We beat Ohio State in a close game the other night. So, I think our guys are really confident now. I've said with really good teams, I've always felt when you kind of get down the stretch, the really good teams believe that they're supposed to win. And the teams that it's not that you're playing to lose, but it's almost like you hope to win. And I've always said for us, we need to get to that point where you got to the final 4 or 5 minutes where guys in the huddle were like, we're going to win. Like, it's good. Let's get stops. Let's run offense. Let's take care of the ball. We're winning this game. And I'm starting, and in order to start feeling that way, you have to do it. You have to go out and do it. And, it's a great testament to our guys, their toughness, their belief, their will. I mean, this one was hard fought. I mean, I still kind of, when it was down 8 under 4, and the clock was going, I said, man, I guess we just won. I mean, what just happened there? But the defense was unbelievable. I mean, the swarming, to turn Edie over 6 times. And he's still going to get – I mean, he's impossible to defend. I mean, he's still got his points. He still played great. But I thought we did a really good job on their guards, Lawyer and Smith to go 1 for 13. And I thought we caused some problems. We had some really key turnovers late that really helped us.
Back.
So speaking of making history, this is Northwestern's first ever program victory over an AP #1 seed. Before this, you were 0-18.
Awesome.
So I was wondering what mindset you guys had going into this game, knowing that there were no expectations on you to pull out a win.
Yeah, I mean, I talked to the guys, though, the last couple days, after we came home from Ohio State and we knew we were going to have this opportunity to play Purdue. We talked to the guy, you're not going to win this game if you don't believe you can win. You don't just go out there. I disagree with, let's just be loose and you got to come out and you got to believe, man, we can really beat these guys. And, that was kind of the message, guys, we can do it. It's going to be hard. We're going to have to play really well in a lot of areas. We're going to have to rebound the ball. We're going to have to fight. We're going to have to swarm Edie. We're going to have to rotate out of those double teams. We're going to have to do a lot of good things, but we can win. You guys are good enough to win. And, I just felt like to start the game, I felt like our guys felt like they could compete. And that's kind of half the battle when you play these really good teams.
Audige was, I think he was 2 for 11, and then he lit up like that. What was your message to him there, and what does that say about him that he can just turn it on?
Well, we need him to be aggressive. It's just take the right shots. I mean, I'm okay with him and Boo both. I mean, they took 36 shots combined. That's great. I mean, there probably other ones they probably could have taken, but take good shots and take them with confidence, and that's the whole thing. I mean, I want those guys to be aggressive. I think that's kind of the beauty of Chase. He's a little bit wacky. I was kind of like this. I call it shooter's amnesia, and not a lot of guys have it. Not a lot of guys can miss a lot of shots and not have them not have that affect their mindset. Like, oh man, I'm 2 for 11 or I'm 2 for 12. A guy like Chase always feels like he's going to make the next one, and he's streaky. So once he hit that 3 and then got that dunk in transition, you kind of saw in his eyes, oh man, he hit a pull up, he hit another 3. I mean, he just down the stretch, I thought he was awesome.
To the back.
You kind of mentioned this earlier, but just Matt Nicholson being able to stop Edie early and just being able to stay out of foul trouble in the process. How much does that mean to you guys in this win?
Well, we just wanted those guys to fight. We weren't going to guard him one-on-one. Obviously, it's really hard when he gets it right deep in the middle. We had some early in the second half. We had some hard times with the high-lows. We had to make an adjustment there. We had to, they scored 2 or 3 times where we were letting the ball get right to the top of the key, right down the gut of the defense, and there's just no help for that. So we were able to kind of cut that off, and we wanted him and Titus to just fight, just try to push him off his spot, try to get him a little bit off the block, and then we were coming. We were coming. We don't have the depth on the front line to play him one-on-one because he would have fouled out all our guys. So we made the decision. We were coming. We were swarming. And then we just told our guys to just fly around in rotation. And, we gave up some open looks at times. That's going to happen, and we knew we were going to have to get a little bit of a break. Although in the first half, I'm like, man, Gillis is about to hit 9 threes again, when he hit his first 3. But, I think they were 0 for 3, 0 for 8, maybe from 3 in the second half. And, some of those were open looks that you just kind of have to take your chances if you want to get the ball out of Edie's hands.
Coach, before you came in, they were showing on that TV your post-game interview with Andy Katz, you and your son.
Yeah.
The emotion.
Yeah.
You talked about, since 2017 and having to almost like a restart, kind of like that. Can you talk more about that initial emotion that you felt, but also, that's kind of just been piling up? Yeah,
it's like I said, coming this, as you guys know, this is, if this was an easy place, there'd be a lot of winning. It's not like there's been bad coaches here. There's been really, really good coaches here, and you're in a league that's as good as anywhere in the country, and the tradition and all the things. But you know what? I've always welcomed that. That's people who know me. Know that that's how I'm wired. Like, if you tell me it's not going to happen or it's not going to do it, I've always been confident in who I am. And, we did a great job, and we got over the hump, and we got in, and things were done along the way that I've been very honest about. I was young. I didn't handle it as good as I should have as a coach, and we took a dip, and we were in a position where we had to kind of start fresh. And, we stayed the course. We went out and got a lot of young players. And we said, you know what, we're going to build from within. We're not going to be able to quick fix it, but we're probably going to take a step back. And when Boo was a freshman, I think we went 3-17 in the league. And then the next year we won 6. and then last year we won 7. So even though it wasn't maybe what everybody had wanted and had hoped, and we lost close games, I still saw progress. And guys were getting better, and we were getting older. And we had a bunch of guys that stayed the course and stayed loyal to the program and fought, and we had a great off season. And it's just, people know when you do this at this level, it's you don't do it alone. It's a staff, it's a family business. There's so much investment by so many people. So when you have a day like this, it can be emotional because there's a lot of hard work by a lot of people to make this happen.
Coach, you mentioned the energy and atmosphere of Welsh Ryan today. What does the student support mean to you?
Oh man, it's everything I hoped for. Like I said, it means so much to our players. And hopefully what they're finding out is it's fun to come to sporting events. It's fun to come. There's music playing. There's, it's a high level, and we have to do our part. I understand that. No one wants to come out if you're not a good team. I've always said it. If you build it, they will come. The old movie line. And we've shown that when we've put a product out there that's kind of worthy, our crowds have been really good. Probably the last time, it's funny, the last atmosphere I can remember like this was probably the Purdue game, the last in the old Welsh Ryan. We played them in CBS on a Sunday afternoon, right at the last game of the season. We had just had that Michigan win, and it was electric. And today, I think, just took it to another level. But it matters because when we go on the road, we face that. When we play in these venues, that's what we have to play against. So when you have your home crowd, it gives you energy. When you're struggling, like when we couldn't score for a while and you're hanging in there, when your crowd is with you and you feel that energy, I think it helps push you over the top. And I hope they keep coming out. We have some big games coming up. We have another big one in a couple of days with a great Indiana team, and we're gonna need it to be every bit as electric on the next game. But it's really fun. It's what college sports are all about to me. That's why I love being in college, because you have that energy of college kids like having fun on a Sunday afternoon. It's a nice prelude to Super Bowl Sunday, I guess, for them. Keep the party going.
Of course, all the talk about Purdue is about Zach Edey, and he had 24, but only one other Boilermaker scored in double figures. Talk about how that worked, defending them as a team and the whole.
Yeah, like I said, it was going to be kind of scramble mode. We had a sense of urgency on Gillis because he came in so hot. He had 9 threes. He had a couple. He's been shooting the ball at a tremendously hot clip. We obviously knew what Lawyer could do as a shooter. Some of those other guys, like Smith's a really good player, Morton, really good player first, but we knew if we were going to sell out on Edey, like we were going to be in scrambles, and we were going to have to do a good job at just trying to find those guys, make them take tough shots, run them off their spots. I thought we did a good job. Lawyer only took 2 threes, so we did a really good job of, in our scrambles, making sure we found him. And I think Gillis in the second half, he really maybe only got 1 clean look. In the first half, he got loose against us. But, it's just hard playing these guys. You gotta decide. You got to just make a decision. What are we going to do? Are we going to kind of let Zach do his thing and score a bunch and try to take away others? Or are we going to sell out on Zach? You just have to make some of those decisions. And, I just think at the end, you just got to play hard. You got to play, and that's what our guys did. We just fought. It wasn't necessarily perfect, but we had active hands. We created some turnovers. We had some great rotations, and I thought we did a good job rebounding the ball. We held them to 9 offensive rebounds, which to me is a win because they are so good on the offensive glass.
Last one in the back.
There was a close game throughout. What were you telling your guys, especially down 8 with 4 minutes left? What was that mentality?
Yeah, just we're right there. We knew we were getting good looks. We're right there. And I said, guys, let's get a bucket here out of the timeout. We had a side out of bounds. We brought it. We do a pretty good job on the side out of bounds. We have a nice package where we can go. We ran a play for Ty. He got a wide open look. It was a great play. He missed. Boo got the rebound, kicked it out to Chase, and he hit it. And you could kind of almost sense all right, we're right here. It was a 5-point game. And then we got the quick steal in our press. And I thought we did a good job in our press. It's something we really hadn't done, but we were trying to slow them up a little bit. I thought it got them a little bit out of their rhythm. And we got the steal, got the dunk. It was 5 quick points, and all of a sudden it was a 3-point game. And I think our guys from that moment on, okay, it's 1 possession. Here we go. But I give our guys credit. When you're not scoring for a while and you're missing good looks and it's not going, sometimes it can seep into your defense. And I never thought that happened with us. So, yeah, appreciate you guys. Hope to see you Wednesday.
guys are joined by Northwestern's Chase Audige and Boo Buie. We'll go ahead and open up for questions. Alex?
Chase, coach said you have shooters amnesia, and so he was really impressed that you were kind of able to shake off that rusty start. Can you just walk us through your mentality kind of in the last 3 minutes, 42 seconds of the game? How are you able to knock down some of those shots after being called for so much of it?
Yeah, I couldn't throw a rock into the ocean. Like, it was crazy. Like, it was, and Boo could talk, like, it was, shots was feeling good, but it just wasn't going in, you know? And I think I just all confidence and just praise to my team. Like, even though I had that stretch at the end, Boo kept us in it the whole time. The kid, he almost had 30 tonight. Like, he was really like the man, and I just built off that confidence. And, you know, I worked so hard. You know, last year was such a hard year for me, and just everything I've been through in my life away from Northwestern. Like, I can't do nothing but have confidence, and just when my team needed me, I just tried my best to be there. And, you know, a shot went through, and then the rim started looking a little bigger, and then whatever happened will happen. You know, I'm just thankful. Just want to thank God for everything, and just it feels good to win.
Boo, you were fearless all night driving inside. It seemed like you didn't even care that Edie was 7'4", just trying to put shots over him. What was your mentality?
Win. My whole mentality every game is just to go win, play as hard as I can, support my teammates, try to make the right play, but just win. You know, he's 7'4". You know, somebody got to attack him. I mean, he blocked me. He blocked me, pushed me to the ground a couple times. But it is what it is. I knew I kept trying to drag him out and get him out higher so I could go use my speed and get around him. But you know, he's one heck of a player. So, you know, but you know, I just challenged him.
This is a game, Boo, this is a game you'll remember, I'm sure, the rest of your life, the atmosphere, everything that went into it. You beat the #1 team in the nation. What does it mean to you today?
I mean, I'm just super grateful, you know. We worked so hard, like Chase said. You know, we put in so much work together. And we've been through so many ups and downs that, you know, like, it's finally starting to show what the real us is. And I'm just super excited that we were able to get this win tonight and show everybody what we could really do.
I mean, obviously, since this team went to the NCAA tournament in 2017, the last couple years have been pretty lean. How much did all those lessons you guys learn over the last couple of years pay off today as you guys got down by 8 and had to come back? Either one of you guys.
I think it was everything. I think, like you said, we've been through everything as a team. Just the seniors that we have, me, Boo, Robbie, Roy Dixon, we've seen almost everything, having terrible losses, seasons, but I think just the maturity and just calmness that we, you know, had at the end of the game, and just it doesn't matter if they're #1 or number 3,000. You know what I mean? Like, we're gonna play hard. We're gonna play the same way every single time, and you know, we believe in each other, and it showed tonight.
Chase, as you were making that 8-point run, you were kind of hyping up the crowd. What was it like to have so many students there and really riding behind you guys the whole game?
I can't even emphasize how big the crowd was, and just the students. Like, I could go on 10 minutes talking about how the atmosphere was and just how they've been supporting us all year, how it's been so important, how it's literally been everything for us to be where we're at right now. But, I mean, like, in a game like that, like, that's like you said, I don't think that's ever been done in Northwestern history or whatever it is. And just for all the people in the building to be a part of that, you know, even though we was on the court, like, it felt like everybody was on the court. So I just wanted everybody just to be a part of that, and just, you know, looking at the crowd, seeing people freaking with their shirts off and doing all types of stuff. There's no other choice but to get hype and try to play as hard as you can. And I think we really built off that.
Yeah, Boo, in addition to your 26 points, you had 3 blocks and 3 steals, and especially towards the end of the second half. 3 blocks and 3 steals. And like, you guys were forcing turnover after turnover down the stretch the last 3 or 4 minutes. Like, can you kind of just talk about the defensive intensity and how you were able to kind of intertwine like the strong offensive performance with defensive?
Yeah, so I mean, offensively, you know, I just try to, like I said before, I just try to make the right reads and be super aggressive and try to stay downhill and put pressure on the defense. And I was able to get to my little mid-range, my little floater shot, and hit a 3. But on the defensive end, you know, we really take pride in that. We've taken pride in that all year, and you know, we're trying to hold teams to the 60s, and so, you know, it's my job as the head of the snake and the person that's on the ball to start with that intensity and bring that intensity so that everyone else follows.
You guys have struggled in tight games the last couple of years. I think you were 5-12 in single-digit games last year, and this year I think you're 8-3. Like, where does that mental toughness come from to be able to close out games this year?
Comes from being 5-12. You know, we've seen, we've had, like, there's a lot of games this year where even after the game, we're like, if we would have played that same game last year, we probably wouldn't have pulled it out. But we, you know, just the confidence and just the defense and just, you know, just knowing everybody in the court can make a play, and it just, you know, not being afraid of the moment, you know what I mean, whether it's a big stop or a big shot, just doing that and just having that need and just wanting the game more in the games that we have won. And I think we've done a great job all year. We got to continue to do that. And, you know, like I said before, we got to stay hungry. Like, it's not over yet. We got to continue to do what we do to make a run and do what we got to do later.
Any more questions? That'll wrap us up. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys. Congrats.